Chapter 1. The Ordinary World. Ethan Cole had never considered himself unlucky in love, just overlooked. At 28, he had a decent job designing graphics for a mid-sized marketing firm, a cozy apartment, and a social life that mostly revolved around his twin sister Lily and their best friend Harper. It wasn't a bad life. It just wasn't the kind of life that inspired romantic grand gestures or candlelit confessions. On this particular Tuesday evening, Ethan was sprawled across his couch, laptop balanced on his knees, half watching a cooking show he'd never attempt to replicate. His phone buzzed on the coffee table. He glanced at it, expecting a meme from Lily or a group chat notification. Instead, the message read, "You looked great today." Ethan blinked. Sat up. Read it again. Unknown number. No name. Just that. He stared at the words, his brain doing somersaults. "You look great today." Who? Why? Was this spam? A prank? Or, his heart did a ridiculous little leap. An actual compliment? He typed back cautiously. Thanks? Who is this? The reply came almost instantly. A secret admirer. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Ethan froze, phone in hand, pulse quickening like he'd just been handed a plot twist in his own life. A secret admirer? That was new. Nothing like this had ever happened to him before. He wasn't the guy who got mysterious texts. He was the guy who got "Can you pick up milk?" texts. He grinned despite himself, then frowned, then grinned again. "Okay, Ethan, don't freak out. Play it cool." Before he could overthink it further, his front door swung open without warning, because Lily never knocked. She breezed in, arms full of takeout bags, Harper trailing behind her with a bottle of wine. "Dinner delivery," Lily announced, kicking the door shut. "And before you complain, yes, I ordered extra dumplings." Ethan held up his phone like it was evidence in a crime drama. "You're not going to believe this." Lily dropped the bags on the counter. "If it's another weird dream about Ryan Gosling, I'm walking out." "No," Ethan said, ignoring Harper's amused snort. "I just got a text. From a secret admirer." That got their attention. Lily's eyebrows shot up. Harper froze mid-step, the wine bottle clutched like a lifeline. "A secret admirer?" Lily repeated, grinning like Christmas came early. "Ethan, that's adorable. Show me." Ethan handed over the phone. Lily read the message aloud in a dramatic voice. "You looked great today." "Oh my God, this is so cute. Who do you think it is?" "I don't know," Ethan said, running a hand through his hair. "I mean, nobody's ever. This has never happened to me." Harper set the wine down carefully, her expression neutral but her pulse hammering. "Could be someone from work," she offered lightly. "You've been doing those client meetings lately." "Maybe," Ethan said, still staring at his phone like it held the secrets of the universe. "Should I reply?" "Yes," Lily said, practically vibrating with excitement. "Say something flirty. Like, 'Guess you have good taste.'" Ethan groaned. "That sounds like something a reality TV contestant would say." Harper smiled faintly. "Or keep it simple. Ask for a clue." Ethan looked between them, torn. "Okay, fine. But if this turns out to be a scam for free gift cards, I'm blaming both of you." He typed, "Okay, mystery person. Give me a hint." The three of them leaned in as the phone buzzed again. "Not yet. It's more fun this way." Lily squealed. Harper bit her lip. Ethan felt a thrill he hadn't felt in years. For the first time in a long time, his life didn't feel so ordinary. Chapter 2. The first text. Ethan barely slept that night. Every time he closed his eyes, his phone seemed to whisper from the nightstand, "You looked great today." He replayed the words like a song stuck in his head, wondering who could have sent them. A coworker? Someone from the gym? The barista who always spelled his name wrong? By morning, he had convinced himself it was probably a prank. Lily loved pranks. Harper? Not so much, but she had a wicked sense of humor when provoked. Still, neither of them had slipped up last night. Lily had been too busy inhaling dumplings, and Harper had been her usual calm self, though maybe a little quieter than usual. Ethan shook off the thought and headed to work. The day passed in a blur of emails and design tweaks, but every time his phone buzzed, his stomach flipped. By lunch, he was practically vibrating with anticipation. Finally, at 3:17 p.m., another message appeared. "Blue really suits you." Ethan stared at his shirt. Blue. Okay, now this was getting creepy, or flattering. He couldn't decide which. He typed back, "You're observant. Still not giving me a name." The reply came seconds later. "Not yet. Guessing is part of the fun." Ethan groaned aloud, earning a curious glance from his coworker. He shoved the phone in his pocket and tried to focus on his screen, but his mind was already spinning scenarios. Fun for who? Them? Him? Was he enjoying this? Maybe. That evening, Lily and Harper were already at his apartment when he walked in, arms full of groceries he didn't remember buying. Lily was perched on the counter, scrolling her phone. Harper sat at the table, sipping tea, her hair falling in soft waves around her face. "You look like someone just told you Ryan Gosling is moving in next door," Lily said, eyeing his dazed expression. Ethan dropped the bags. They texted again. Harper's hand tightened around her mug. "The admirer?" "Yeah." Ethan pulled out his phone and showed them. "Blue suits me," which is weirdly specific. Lily grinned. "Oh, they're paying attention. That's romantic." "It's unsettling," Ethan muttered. "They know what I'm wearing." "Maybe they saw you at work," Harper said lightly, though her pulse was hammering. She'd agonized over that message for 10 minutes before hitting send. Ethan paced. "I don't know if I should keep playing along or block them." "Play along," Lily said, practically bouncing. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to you since you found that $20 bill in a library book. Ethan shot her a look. That was a good day. Harper smiled faintly. You could ask for a bigger clue. Ethan sighed, typing. Okay, mystery person. Give me something. Anything. The three of them leaned in as the phone buzzed again. You already know me. Ethan froze. Lily gasped. Harper stared at her tea like it held the secrets of the universe. You already know me? Ethan repeated, his voice climbing an octave. What does that even mean? It means, Lily said, eyes sparkling. This just got way more interesting. Harper forced a smile, her heart thudding. Interesting was one word for it. Terrifying was another. Chapter 3. The game begins. Ethan stared at his phone like it had just confessed a crime. You already know me. His mind spun through possibilities like a broken carousel. Someone from work? A neighbor? That guy who borrowed his jumper cables last winter? No, the tone was too playful. Familiar. Okay, he said slowly, looking up at Lily and Harper. This is officially weird. Lily grinned like a cat with cream. Weird? This is romantic. You have a secret admirer who knows you. That's like every rom-com ever. Ethan groaned. Or every stalker documentary. Harper laughed softly, though her throat felt tight. Maybe it's someone you met recently. A client? A friend of a friend? Ethan rubbed his temples. I don't know. I'm not exactly Mr. Social Butterfly. Lily hopped off the counter and snatched his phone. Let me see the messages again. She scrolled dramatically, then gasped. Oh my God, Ethan. This is so cute. You have to keep playing along. I don't know. Ethan hesitated. What if it's a prank? Then you'll laugh about it later, Lily said, already typing something. Lily. Ethan lunged, but she danced out of reach, thumbs flying. There, she said, tossing the phone back. I told them you're intrigued. Ethan read the message. You've got my attention. Care to give me a real clue? He groaned. Great. Now I sound like a bad dating app bio. Harper smiled faintly, her heart pounding. She'd been ready to send another message, but Lily had beaten her to it. Now she had to improvise. The phone buzzed. Ethan snatched it up. Clues are earned. Maybe start by telling me your favorite color. Ethan blinked. What is this? 20 questions. Play along. Lily said, practically vibrating. Say something flirty. Like, my favorite color is whatever you're wearing. Ethan stared. Do you want me to sound like a cheesy pickup line generator? Yes, Lily said without hesitation. Harper chuckled, masking her nerves. Or just, answer honestly. Ethan sighed and typed. Blue. Always blue. The reply came almost instantly. Good choice. Blue suits you. Ethan froze. Wait. They said that yesterday. Lily squealed. They're paying attention. Ethan, this is adorable. Harper forced a smile, her stomach doing somersaults. She'd typed that message yesterday, and now she was knee-deep in her own tangled web. Ethan flopped onto the couch, staring at the ceiling. Okay, this is officially the strangest week of my life. Lily grinned. Strap in, brother. It's about to get stranger. Harper said nothing, but inside, she knew Lily wasn't wrong. Chapter 4. The investigation. By Thursday, Ethan had gone from intrigued to mildly obsessed. His phone was practically glued to his hand, and every buzz sent a jolt through his chest. The admirer had kept things playful, little compliments, vague hints, but nothing concrete. And now Ethan was determined to figure it out. He sat at his kitchen table, laptop open, phone beside him, Lily perched across from him like a detective in a rom-com crime drama. Harper was there too, pretending to scroll through her own phone while silently praying Ethan wouldn't stumble onto the truth just yet. Okay, Ethan said, tapping his pen against a notepad. Let's list suspects. Lily grinned. Oh, this is going to be fun. Harper swallowed hard. Fun for you, maybe. Ethan scribbled names, coworkers, neighbors, the barista who always gave him extra foam. It has to be someone who sees me often. They knew I was wearing blue. Could be someone from the gym, Lily suggested. You've been going more lately. True, Ethan said, jotting it down. But I barely talk to anyone there. Harper cleared her throat. Maybe it's someone who's close to you. Like really close. Ethan frowned. Close how? Harper shrugged, trying to look casual. Just someone who knows you well. Lily smirked. Like me. Ethan shot her a look. You? Please. You'd send me memes, not compliments. Fair, Lily said, grinning. But seriously, Ethan, maybe stop overthinking and enjoy it. I can't enjoy it if I don't know who it is. Ethan groaned. This is driving me crazy. He grabbed his phone and typed. Okay, mystery person. One real clue. Please. The reply came seconds later. You've laughed with me before. Ethan stared. Laughed with them? That narrows it down to everyone I've ever met. Lily snorted. You're not exactly Mr. Stoic. Ethan flopped back in his chair. This is hopeless. Or, Lily said, eyes twinkling. You could try something bold. Ethan eyed her warily. Define bold. Ask them out. Lily said, grinning like a villain. Face to face. No more guessing. Ethan blinked. What? No. What if it's someone I barely know? What if it's awkward? Awkward is your middle name. Lily said sweetly. You'll survive. Harper's stomach dropped. Bold was the last thing she wanted. She forced a smile. Or, maybe wait a little longer. See if they give more hints. Ethan sighed, torn between Lily's chaos and Harper's calm. I'll think about it. But as he stared at his phone, a thrill ran through him. For the first time in years, his life felt like a story worth telling, and he had no idea how messy the next chapter would be. Chapter 5. Advice Gone Wrong. By Saturday morning, Ethan had officially entered the mildly desperate phase of his investigation. The admirer's latest message, "Patience is attractive," had sent him spiraling. Patience. He'd been patient for days. He needed answers. So, naturally, he called an emergency brunch meeting with Lily and Harper. They met at their usual spot, a cozy cafe with mismatched chairs and a chalkboard menu that changed daily. Ethan sat hunched over his coffee like a man plotting a heist, while Lily gleefully demolished a stack of pancakes. Harper stirred her tea, trying to look calm even as her stomach churned. "Okay," Ethan said, lowering his voice like they were discussing state secrets. "I need a strategy." Lily grinned. "Finally, Operation Love Hunt begins." Harper raised an eyebrow. "That's a terrible name." "Don't care," Lily said, waving her fork. "Step 1, you flirt back. Hard." Ethan blinked. "Hard? Like how hard?" "Like rom-com hard," Lily said. "Cheesy lines, bold moves. Make them sweat." Harper nearly choked on her tea. "Or," she said quickly, "maybe keep it light. Playful. You don't want to scare them off." Ethan looked between them, torn. "So bold or subtle?" "Bold," Lily said firmly. "Subtle," Harper countered. Ethan groaned. "You two are no help." Lily leaned in, eyes sparkling. "Text them something like, 'I bet you look even better than me today.'" Ethan stared. "That sounds like something a reality TV contestant would say." "Exactly," Lily said, grinning. "Confidence is sexy." Harper shook her head. "Or just ask a normal question, like what they're doing this weekend." Ethan sighed, thumb hovering over his phone. "Fine. I'll combine your advice." He typed, "Bet you look amazing today. What's your weekend plan?" He hit send before he could second-guess himself. The reply came almost instantly. "Bold move, Ethan. I like it." Ethan blinked. "They used my name. They know me well." "Of course they do," Lily said, smirking. "You already know them, remember?" Ethan groaned. "This is torture." But then another message popped up. "Weekend plan? Maybe watching you try to figure me out." Ethan stared. "What does that even mean?" "It means," Lily said, grinning like a villain, "you're in deep now." Harper forced a smile, her heart pounding. She'd typed that reply with shaking hands, and now she was watching Ethan spiral into chaos. Chaos she'd created. Ethan slumped back in his chair. "Okay, new plan. I'm going to figure this out if it kills me." Lily clapped her hands. "Finally, let the games begin." Harper said nothing, but inside, she knew the real game was hers, and she was running out of time before the truth came crashing down. Chapter 6. Mishaps multiply. By Monday, Ethan had officially declared war on mystery. He was done waiting for cryptic texts. He was going to figure this out, even if it meant embarrassing himself in the process. His first suspect? The barista at Bean and Gone, the coffee shop he visited every morning. She always smiled at him, always gave him extra foam. Maybe that meant something. Or maybe he was losing his mind. Ethan walked in, rehearsing his line. "Hey, funny question. Are you my secret admirer?" It sounded ridiculous, but Lily had dared him, and Lily never backed down from a dare. The barista, a cheerful woman with pink streaks in her hair, greeted him with her usual grin. "Morning, Ethan." "The usual?" Yeah," he said, palms sweating. "And, quick question." She tilted her head. "Shoot." Ethan swallowed hard. "Are you my secret admirer?" The barista blinked, then laughed so hard she nearly dropped the milk frother. "Oh my God, no. But thanks for making my Monday." Ethan flushed crimson. "Right. Cool. Just checking." He grabbed his coffee and bolted, ignoring the amused stares of the guy behind him. Outside, he texted Lily. "Never listening to you again." Her reply came instantly. "LOL. Did you at least get free coffee?" Ethan groaned. This is a disaster. That evening, he tried another tactic, reverse phone lookup. He sat at his desk, Harper perched on the couch pretending to read, while secretly watching him spiral. "Okay," Ethan muttered, typing the number into a sketchy website. "This should tell me who it is." The site loaded, and promptly crashed his browser with a pop-up promising free horoscope. Ethan cursed under his breath. "Maybe don't give your credit card to strangers," Harper said gently. "I didn't." Ethan snapped, then sighed. I need to know." Harper smiled faintly. "Or you could just enjoy the mystery." Ethan stared at her. "Enjoy the mystery?" "Harper, I'm losing sleep over this." She laughed softly, masking the guilt twisting in her chest. "Then maybe ask for a bigger clue." Ethan grabbed his phone and typed. "Okay, mystery person. I'm officially desperate. Give me something real." The reply came seconds later. "You've seen me laugh. You've made me laugh." Ethan groaned. "That's not a clue. That's poetry." Harper bit her lip, her heart pounding. She'd typed that with shaking hands, knowing it would only pull him deeper into the game. Ethan flopped onto the couch. "I swear, if this turns out to be some elaborate prank, I'm moving to Canada." Harper smiled faintly. "You'd miss us too much." Ethan looked at her then, really looked, and for a split second something flickered in his chest, something he couldn't name. But before he could dwell on it, Lily burst through the door like a tornado. "Guess what?" she said, grinning. "I have a plan." Ethan groaned. "Why do those words terrify me?" "Because," Lily said, tossing her bag down, "they should." Chapter 7. Heartfelt Realizations. By Tuesday night, Ethan was exhausted, not physically, but mentally. The admirer's latest message had been short and sweet. You make ordinary days feel special. He'd stared at it for a full 5 minutes, trying to decode its meaning. Was it romantic? Friendly? Philosophical? He didn't know anymore. All he knew was that his life had turned into a guessing game, and he was losing. Now he sat at his desk, laptop open but untouched, a blank document glaring back at him. He was supposed to be working on a client design, but instead, he found himself typing something else entirely. Why does this matter so much to me? He paused, fingers hovering over the keys. Then he kept going. Maybe because it feels good to be noticed, to be wanted. I didn't realize how much I missed that until now. He stared at the words, a lump forming in his throat. It wasn't just about the texts. It was about the quiet truth he'd been avoiding. He was lonely. Not in a dramatic, movie-worthy way, just in the subtle, everyday way that creeps in when life becomes routine. He closed the laptop with a sigh and rubbed his eyes. Across the room, Harper sat curled up on the couch, pretending to scroll through her phone. She'd seen him typing, seen the way his shoulders slumped, and her heart ached. She wanted to tell him everything, to confess that the words lighting up his phone were hers, that every compliment came from a place of love she'd carried for years. But fear held her back. Fear of ruining what they had. Fear of hearing him say he didn't feel the same. Long day? She asked softly. Ethan looked up, startled. Yeah, just thinking too much. Harper smiled gently. About the admirer? He chuckled, though it sounded tired. Yeah, I mean it's silly, right? Getting so worked up over some texts. It's not silly, Harper said, her voice steady even as her heart raced. It's human. We all want to feel seen. Ethan studied her for a moment, something flickering in his eyes, a question he didn't voice. Then he smiled faintly. You always know what to say. Harper swallowed hard. Occupational hazard of being your best friend. He laughed softly, and for a moment, the tension eased. But inside, Harper knew the clock was ticking. The longer this went on, the harder the truth would hit. And she wasn't sure if she was ready for that impact. Chapter 8. The Turning Point. By Thursday night, Ethan had reached his limit. The admirer's latest message, some mysteries are worth solving in person, was the final straw. He stared at the screen, heart thudding. In person, that meant they wanted to meet. Or maybe they were teasing him again. Either way, he couldn't keep living in this limbo. He needed answers. He paced his apartment like a man preparing for battle. Lily lounged on the couch, scrolling her phone with a grin that made him suspicious. Harper sat in the armchair, pretending to read but barely turning a page. I'm done, Ethan announced, stopping mid-stride. I'm asking them to meet. Lily's head snapped up, eyes sparkling. Finally, this is going to be epic. Harper's stomach dropped. Are you sure that's a good idea? She asked, voice calm despite the panic clawing at her chest. Yes, Ethan said firmly. I can't keep guessing. It's driving me insane. He grabbed his phone and typed. Okay, mystery person. Let's meet. Tomorrow. Coffee. He hit send before he could second-guess himself. The reply came almost instantly. Bold move. I like it. Tomorrow works. Ethan exhaled, a mix of relief and nerves flooding his chest. It's happening. Lily squealed. This is better than reality TV. Harper forced a smile, her heart pounding so hard she thought they might hear it. Tomorrow. She had until tomorrow to decide if she was brave enough to show up, or cowardly enough to back out. Ethan flopped onto the couch, staring at the ceiling. Okay, tomorrow. Coffee. I can do this. Lily grinned. You're going to be fine. Worst case, it's awkward. Best case. She wiggled her eyebrows. True love. Harper swallowed hard, her throat dry. Best case for him, maybe. For her, it felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, waiting to jump. Chapter 9. The big reveal. The coffee shop buzzed with quiet chatter and the hiss of steaming milk. Ethan sat at a corner table, fingers drumming against his cup, heart pounding like he'd just run a marathon. He'd arrived 10 minutes early, because of course he had. And now every person who walked through the door made his stomach flip. He checked his phone for the 100th time. See you soon. That was the last message from the admirer. No name. No hint. Just those 3 words. The bell above the door jingled. Ethan looked up and froze. Harper. She stood there, framed by the doorway, her hair catching the soft morning light. She spotted him instantly, her smile nervous but real, and for a moment Ethan forgot how to breathe. Hey, she said, walking over, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. Ethan blinked, his brain short-circuiting. Harper? What are you? She slid into the seat across from him, setting her bag down like it weighed a ton. I'm the one you've been texting. Silence stretched between them, thick and electric. Ethan stared, words refusing to form. You what? Harper swallowed hard. I'm your secret admirer. It was me. The whole time. Ethan blinked again, his mind replaying every message, every clue, every laugh they'd shared. Suddenly, it all made sense. The inside jokes, the timing, the way she always seemed to know what to say. You. His voice cracked on the word. But why? Harper's eyes softened. Because I've liked you for a long time, Ethan. And I didn't know how to tell you without risking everything. Ethan sat back, stunned. He'd imagined this moment 100 different ways, but none of them had felt like this. Like the world tilting on its axis in the best possible way. You're not angry? Harper asked quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan laughed, a short, breathless sound that surprised them both. Angry? Harper, I'm relieved. Honestly, I was terrified it was someone random. But you. He shook his head, a smile breaking across his face. You're my best friend. And maybe something more. Harper's breath hitched. Maybe. Ethan leaned forward, his grin widening. Definitely. For a moment, the noise of the cafe faded, and it was just them. Two people who'd been circling each other for years, finally colliding in the most unexpected way. Harper laughed then, a sound full of relief and joy. So, coffee first, then figure out the rest. Ethan smiled, his heart lighter than it had been in years. Coffee first. Everything else after. Chapter 10. The Confession. Ethan and Harper lingered at the coffee shop long after their cups were empty, the conversation flowing like it hadn't in years. Except now, every word carried a new weight. A new possibility. So, Ethan said, leaning back in his chair, a grin tugging at his lips. You've liked me for how long? Harper flushed, her fingers tracing the rim of her cup. A while. A while. Ethan teased. That's vague. Harper laughed softly. Fine. Years. Happy. Ethan's smile faltered, not from discomfort, but from the realization that he'd been oblivious for so long. Years, he repeated, shaking his head. And I never noticed. You weren't supposed to, Harper said gently. I didn't want to ruin what we had. Ethan studied her, his chest tightening with something that felt suspiciously like regret. You wouldn't have ruined anything. Harper met his gaze, her voice barely above a whisper. You don't know that. Ethan leaned forward, his tone soft but certain. I do now. For a moment, silence stretched between them, warm, charged, full of everything they hadn't said before. Then Ethan smiled, the kind of smile that reached his eyes. So what happens next? Harper laughed nervously. Next? I don't know. We figure it out. Ethan nodded slowly. I'd like that. The bell above the door jingled, and Lily burst in like a confetti cannon in human form. Well, she sang, striding toward their table with a grin that could power a small city. Look at you two, all cozy. Ethan groaned. Lily, don't lily me, she said, plopping into the empty chair. I knew this would happen. I practically orchestrated it. Harper's eyes widened. You what? Lily smirked. Oh, please. Who do you think kept nudging you to text him? Who told Ethan to be bold? You're welcome. Ethan stared at her. You were in on this? Obviously, Lily said, stealing a sip of his coffee like she owned the place. You two were driving me insane with your will they won't they nonsense. Someone had to push things along. Harper groaned, burying her face in her hands. I can't believe you. You're welcome, Lily repeated, grinning like the cat that ate the canary. Now, kiss or something so I can feel like my work here is done. Ethan laughed, shaking his head. You're unbelievable. Unbelievably brilliant, Lily corrected, winking. Now seriously kiss. Harper peeked up, cheeks flaming. Lily, but Ethan just smiled, his heart lighter than it had been in years. Ignore her, he said softly, turning to Harper. This is about us. And for once, Harper believed him. Chapter 11. The emotional payoff. The cafe had emptied out, leaving only the hum of the espresso machine and the faint scent of cinnamon in the air. Lily had finally wandered off, after extracting a promise to spill every detail later. And now it was just Ethan and Harper, sitting across from each other like the world had narrowed to this one table. Ethan leaned forward, elbows resting on the wood, his expression softer than Harper had ever seen. You know, he said quietly, I've been replaying every message in my head since this started. And now that I know it was you, it all makes sense. Harper's heart thudded painfully. Makes sense how? He smiled, that slow, warm smile that always made her feel like the safest person in the room. Because every word sounded like you. Thoughtful, funny, honest. I just didn't let myself see it. Harper swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. And now, Ethan reached across the table, his fingers brushing hers. A simple touch that sent a shockwave through her chest. Now I'm wondering why I didn't see it sooner. Harper laughed softly, though her eyes shimmered. Because you're oblivious? Probably, Ethan admitted, grinning. But I don't want to be oblivious anymore. He stood then, moving around the table, and Harper's breath caught as he stopped in front of her. For a moment, he just looked at her. Really looked, like he was memorizing every detail. Harper, he said, his voice low and steady. I don't want this to be just a funny story we tell later. I want it to be the start of something. Her throat tightened. You're sure? Ethan smiled, and it was the kind of smile that erased every doubt. I've never been more sure. And then he kissed her. It wasn't dramatic or rushed. It was gentle, warm, and full of everything they'd been holding back for years. Harper melted into it, her hands gripping his shirt like she'd been waiting for this moment forever. Because she had. When they finally pulled apart, Harper laughed breathlessly. So, does this mean I can retire the secret admirer act? Ethan grinned, his forehead resting against hers. Please. My nerves can't handle another cryptic text. She smiled, her heart soaring. Deal. Chapter 12. The New Beginning. 2 weeks later, Ethan's apartment looked different, not because of the furniture, but because of the feeling. There was laughter in the corners, warmth in the air, and Harper's favorite mug sitting on the counter like it belonged there. Because now it did. Ethan stood in the kitchen, pouring coffee, still marveling at how quickly life had shifted. One moment, he was obsessing over cryptic texts. The next, he was kissing his best friend in a cafe and wondering why he'd ever thought happiness was complicated. Harper patted in, wearing one of his hoodies, her hair a soft halo in the morning light. You're smiling. she said, wrapping her arms around his waist. Dangerous. Ethan grinned, kissing the top of her head. Just thinking how lucky I am. Harper laughed. You mean lucky Lily didn't scare you off with her matchmaking? Ethan groaned. Don't remind me. As if summoned by the mention of her name, Lily burst through the door without knocking, because Lily never knocked. Morning, lovebirds, she sang, tossing her bag onto the couch. Hope you're ready for brunch. I made reservations. Ethan sighed. Do you ever give us privacy? Privacy is overrated, Lily said, grinning. Besides, I need details. How's the romance? Any dramatic declarations yet? Harper blushed. Lily, Ethan cut in, smirking. If you must know, things are great. Perfect, actually. Lily clapped her hands like a proud parent. My work here is done. Your meddling here is done, Ethan corrected. Same thing, Lily said, winking. Now hurry up. Brunch waits for no one. Harper laughed, shaking her head as Lily swept out like a hurricane. Ethan turned to her, his smile softening. You know she's never going to let us live this down. I know, Harper said, her eyes shining. But honestly, I don't care. Ethan kissed her then, slow and certain, and for the first time in years, everything felt exactly where it was meant to be. Epilogue, a new mystery. 3 months later, Ethan and Harper were officially a couple, and officially tired of Lily's constant teasing. But today, Lily seemed distracted. They were at their favorite brunch spot, Lily scrolling her phone with a grin that looked suspiciously familiar. What's with the smile? Ethan asked, narrowing his eyes. You look like you're hiding something. Me? Never, Lily said, far too quickly. Harper leaned in, curious. Lily's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, and her grin widened. Ethan caught a glimpse of the message before she tilted the phone away. You looked amazing today. Ethan blinked. Wait, is that? None of your business, Lily said, stuffing her phone into her bag. Eat your pancakes. Harper laughed. Oh my God. Lily, do you have a secret admirer? Maybe, Lily said, smirking. Or maybe I'm just better at keeping secrets than you two. Ethan groaned. Please tell me you're not starting another rom-com subplot. Lily winked. Wouldn't you like to know? And with that, she hopped up to pay the bill, leaving Ethan and Harper exchanging amused, slightly terrified looks. Because if there was one thing they'd learned, it was this. When Lily had a secret, chaos was coming.